to the Franchise Growth Show, where we do not just talk scale, we talk value. As you know, I'm Joe Carter. I've built, bought, and sold brands in the franchise world for 2 decades. I've sat across for private equity and seen what buyers chase or what they walk away from. Guests, they're proving that you do not need storefronts or staff overhead to build a high margin, high demand franchise. Lisa Bearnson is the founder and CEO of Pickled Court, and Ann Henry, who's also joining us as the director of franchise operations. This is a lean, scalable model that is riding that pickleball boom. Think no real estate, low capex, and multiple revenue streams. It's a masterclass in strategic positioning. We are ready to hear how these two turned a backyard sport into a franchise platform. So let's dive in. First and foremost, Lisa and Ann, thank you both for being on. I appreciate you. Let's turn it over. Yeah, all good. No worries. Lisa, let's start with you if that's okay. You've built brands. You've been hosted on QVC. You've launched national products. But why pickleball and why now?
All right. Well, first of all, I'm having some audio difficulties. So can you guys hear me okay? Because
yes,
it's all in a tunnel. And okay. So I literally have been an entrepreneur my whole life, and I always have my finger on the pulse of whatever is the hottest thing going. And I've done everything from scrapbooking to financial literacy, software to you name it. I've done it. But I recently got into pickleball, and I poured a pickleball court in my backyard, and became crazy about it, but I couldn't find and it's a complete party. I've loved every minute of it. In fact, Ann, tell some of the stats, literally.
some of the stats. So pickleball investment breakdown. This is 2025. Over $158 million have been spent in upgrading pickleball facilities across the United States. So we've had a little foot in that. They've created massive indoor complexes, large-scale indoor pickleball venues, and also small neighborhood courts and venues. So those have been like the primary investments, but that doesn't include any of the backyard courts and things that people are adding as well. We're America's fastest growing sport, over 10,000 pickleball courts nationwide, and that's talking specifically parks, fitness centers, schools, and private facilities. Yeah. There's a few. I think we'll have some opportunities to talk some more stats down the road.
100%. That blew my mind. Was it 158 million? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so I'm curious now, because at least pre-meeting both of you, my understanding of pickleball was it's like a recreational sport that you kind of do when you have time. I know some people have got some, like teams or clubs or that kind of stuff going on. But at what point did either of you make that differentiation factor from this is not just like a niche or a hobby that somebody does, but it's actually something that could be a scalable business?
Yeah, I can
Right.
speak.
So for me, I live in Utah and I was watching swimming pools were no longer going into people's backyards. Suddenly it was pickleball courts. It was a 30 by 60 cement pad. And then they were going to all the work of getting all the resurfacing and the equipment. Most people with their backyard courts, most of them are basketball and pickleball, a duo of both. And I started watching this trend. In fact, I moved to a house that I could get one of those. And then I started also watching all these deteriorated tennis courts that cities were begging me to, or begging people to come rehab, or either chipping them out for hundreds of tens of thousands of dollars, or please resurface it to do something that people will do, meaning pickleball. I started watching this just go crazy, especially with the backyard. The cities were putting more and more in, and all of a sudden I'm like, I've got to get a piece of that. I also noticed for me, when I started playing, I felt like it was people my age, but we mentioned this. Suddenly I was playing against 10-year-olds that were beating me and 80-year-olds. And I was noticing families gathering and having so much fun and tournaments. I also was witnessing at public pickleball parks, which were far and few between, how hard it was to get on. And all of a sudden I looked, the demographic was suddenly college students. They were overtaking them. And so I was watching this, but when I got in was right at the right time 4 years ago where it was still kind of people my age, and then all of a sudden I've just watched it go like more and more crazy where it truly is a family sport. It's very competitive. We've done sports for um, professional number like what three in the world, Callie Smith, other professionals. Done a lot of. I was watching indoor court trend just take off, so that in the winter it can be played all year round. And we were starting it, so I started doing indoor courts. That club thing is just completely taken off. I watched clubs that did indoor outdoor courts, so it could be indoor or outdoor experience. people were coming to me going, oh yeah, we watched a little YouTube video. It doesn't take half a day to do this. It doesn't take this much equipment or this much money, this much manpower. Man, it took us weeks and it looks terrible. And all of a sudden I realized, wow, we have a corner on the market as far as processes, procedures, products, how to mix, what to do, what to pour, how to do it, how to get the perfect, measurement. I wrote everything down, documented, so that it's almost like, here you go. We told you all our secrets. You can be up and running. You don't have to go through the 2-3 years that I went through researching it and figuring it out. Because it's not true. You don't watch a 10-minute video on YouTube and go, oh, I've got it. It's going to be a lot more expensive and look really awful if you try to do it yourself, to be honest. And so that's when I knew, oh, there's something to this. There's something. And what I love so much is that we don't pour the cement. We don't pour the asphalt. We make it beautiful. So we don't have all that liability on we're only as good as what's underneath. And we tell people that. So I feel like I was successful because I very much had a niche. I had a strong mission statement. I stuck to it and it was simple. I wasn't trying to be all things to all people. I was trying to be the best at what I was the best at. And it was everything on top of the cement, the equipment, the ball containment, all of the beautiful lines and the paint and the sand and all things done. So
you created something that was repeatable and so that other people could follow those same steps and efficiently get it done.
Yeah.
Love that. I love that. For either of you, really, where have you seen the biggest lift? Is it in new installs? Is it in restoration? Is it in pop-up events? Where's the biggest lift occurring today in that space?
I mean, by far, it is the installment of the resurfacing. It's the basically painting the courts. It's not just painting. It's 600 pounds of sand on each pickleball court, kegs and kegs of paint, and just exact lines and all the processes. So for sure, it's in the resurfacing. Also, we're gaining some momentum with the idea of these pop-up pickleball parties where they can we've done a couple of courts where literally it's a cushion court and you roll them out and you roll them back, and you roll out the 30 by 60 surface. It's playable. Play for a few days, have a tournament, take it to a company party, do whatever, roll it back up, put it in your truck and move it to the next place. So that's been great. And then the maintenance and cleaning, honestly, that is pure profit. It really is. It's the manpower and it's telling cities, nobody else is going to do it. We're going to do it. And we have such clever ways to do that too. Like we put up signs with our logos and rules of the court and scan here if you want to know all of how to play pickleball, but even fun, quirky rules. So it's the three, but by far, the bread and butter has been in the resurfacing of old cement, the restoration of old cement that's cracked and damaged, or brand new builds. For sure, it's our magic we do simply the most beautiful, amazing courts the way we do it. I have people calling going, why does your court look so good? And I'm like, well, sign up for a franchise and I'll tell you why.
You can have it, but you got to pay for it, right? And definitely go check it out. Do a quick Google search and you'll see the quality. There's plenty of stuff out there and available that'll just showcase exactly the words that Lisa is speaking here. Obviously, you all are not kind of the only player, if you will, within this particular business. So what makes your brand, Pickled Court, different from some of the other court builders that are out there or sports service providers?
If you want to take it over, but I kind of already said it where I don't know many other I don't know of any other actually that just focus on what we focus on, and that's the resurfacing. Too many people try to be all things to all people. I've seen too many people trying to pour the cement, which is very low in profit. So that's one reason why I'm like, And then it's kind of rob Peter to pay Paul, where they're trying to do too much, and we just do what we do really, really well. And what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, it's our quality, our customer service responsiveness. A lot of times in the construction business, so to say, it's hard to communicate with people. It's hard to know when they're going to show up, but we do what we say we're going to do. We show up when we say we're going to show up. We have fantastic communication, with our customers, and that just creates referrals at one after the other, actually, because of our relationship that we build with the clients.
I love it. And to Lisa's point a moment ago, while you're doing that, you also have kind of a free marketing opportunity as well, because you're putting your signage up there for everybody else in the neighborhood who may be driving by that particular location, so they
Yeah.
can see the before and after firsthand and be able to know the quality that you're delivering to them. So that's fantastic. Since launching franchising, what has been y'all's smartest growth move that you've made so far?
I was going to tell you one thing, Joe. My 2 years of owning this and doing hundreds and hundreds of courts on my own, I didn't advertise, I didn't do anything. Everything came from word of mouth. It was me putting a sign out in front, or that is the most beautiful court. It was all client referred. I am super proud of that, because that just showed me, man, I'm doing something really right. Me, a very white collar worker turned blue collar worker, and I've learned how to do this and I've mastered it. And so I really love that. Okay, what was your question? I'm sorry. I had to say that. So
Yeah, I love that insight. Since you launched the franchising side of the business, what's been the smartest growth move so far that y'all have made?
okay, I'm having a hard time with the sound. So and start that question and I'll see if I can pick up on what it was.
Yeah. So probably the smartest growth move we've made is engaging with professionals like yourself, people that know the franchising business, the franchising audience, who would make a great candidate for what we do. Attending, different expo shows, networking with other professionals, getting to know people out there. Builders, for example, cement people, where it's a seamless transition, right? We're networking with the right people.
I love that. I love that. And it's a pretty big network in the franchise space, right? So the more you can get plugged in, the bigger, faster you get. It's like a snowball effect. So I love that you're
Yeah.
taking those steps, strategically and directionally. Obviously, our listeners, not all of them, will have signed an NDA, so we can't necessarily super deep dive into anything that's in the FDD. But can you give our audience a ballpark of what the investment range and potential ROI might be for getting into your franchise?
Okay, well, one thing, and I'm going to let you answer this, but one of the most exciting things for me is I'll just talk to the state of Utah. We don't have to have a contractor's license in the state of Utah. We just are landscapers. And that's one reason why I didn't want to do the cement either. And because of that, and because of what I've chosen to do, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not in this for 18% of, return on invest, whatever it is, profit, or I wanted it to be something that really people would really grasp on. And why don't you sing to that and some things that our franchisees have said about what they make?
Yeah. And so the great thing about Pickled Court is it is a relatively low investment range. We tell people all the time, especially if you already have a truck and some equipment, you can be all in business owner with the equipment for around $65,000. And so that gets you started, gets you the ability to be trained and to start turning your own jobs, which typically you can pay that back within your first 3 months of doing business. A
That
typical
includes the
ROI.
franchise fee also, right,
Yeah.
Ann?
Yeah, that includes a franchise fee. The our typical ROI, the strongest part of our business for ROI would be in the resurfacing. Of course, the maintenance is pretty much 100% ROI, but the dollar value is less than the resurfacing of a court. And so that's where you're really going to get a lot of bang for your buck is with the resurfacing of courts. We do resurfacing, rehabbing, or new on top of new concrete construction. And there can typically, we can see 30 to or 40 to 60% profit. 30 would be on the low end. Once we start to add additional equipment or parts on top of the pickleball court, for example, the netting, fencing, ball containment, lighting, we can do all of that. That does bring our profits down a bit because we don't have the same markup when we, put up the fencing, for example.
Still, that's one of the lowest investment models of anybody that's ever been on this podcast before. So first and foremost, kudos there. And if I heard you right, I'm going to repeat it slightly differently, but the top operators are getting the return on their investment in 90 days, y'all. Low investment, fast ROI. You should look into this one.
Absolutely.
Okay, pivoting
and one
slightly.
of the smartest things, you might ask us this in a minute, like no brick or mortar.
Yes.
I love that aspect of it. In fact, we don't want you to. We love a trailer, wrap trailer, storage unit, but we don't want a brick or mortar store. To me, that is really what drives down the cost and makes this model so much more simple. And the fact that this is the hottest going word in America, pickleball. So those two things together are just really strong.
100%. 100% agree. Pivoting slightly to the kind of the operation side of the business. Obviously, you all are setting your franchisees up for success with training and systems and support and all those kinds of things. So can you talk through our audience with what those things are that you do for your franchisees to support them through tools, tech, documentation, playbooks, whenever or wherever you go with that? How you support your franchisees so they get that ROI and get up to scale quickly?
Go ahead, Ann.
Okay. Yeah, I know you've got the echo going on. Honestly, with all of our franchisees, we have put a software in place that, especially with new franchisees that come on board, they've got their onboarding, all their training materials, pictures, everything at their fingertips on an app on their phone. We train in person, but we do have technology to support the infrastructure. We have accounting, financial systems in place that even, help you with the taxes at the end of the year. And so we evaluated different CRMs. We don't have one that we have launched yet, but that is something that we have looked into as well to support our franchisees.
Okay.
And our marketing is amazing. If anybody goes and looks at our website, it is the most beautiful pickleball website as far as resurfacing as it goes. I think it's a beautiful website. And also our marketing package that we hand you ready to go with all of these creative, crazy ideas on how you can gain business outside of, Facebook Facebook or ads or whatever. I said Facebook Marketplace. I think you have to on that, but like SEO and all that stuff. We're thinking of, we've handed you a package on signage and just crazy cool ideas on how I think outside the box all the time and how you can get business besides just right here on the computer.
And I'll double down on that. Go check their website out. I've seen it myself. It's pretty. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Whoever did your webflow design, I need their phone number. It's a legit website. Kudos to all that. Lisa, I know you have led many brands that have scaled exceptionally high. What is the hardest thing about shifting into franchising?
Okay, now that I've understand, I just want to explain to everybody, this is like I'm in a cave and the echo doesn't end and I can't tell where to start. And I'm sure it's on my end. I'm sorry about that. But now I'd like to kind of start at the beginning because I was all not knowing what was going on. But I built my business in the publishing field. Okay, I started out as the editor of
Not
Brendan's
easy.
resume. So I knew you'd agree with that. And I think I'd never done it before. And my mom is 96 right now and told me I could be anything I wanted to be. I believed her and I've just done it. And it's an intuition. When I get a prompting, I do it. And then I get on my knees and say thank you to God later. Like literally, I'm a person of action. However, I didn't know franchising was quite as different as running a corporation. I've ran big corporations before, and it is a completely different dynamic, completely different set of rules. It's different everything, and so I think you're gonna ask me the mistakes I made, and Anne reminded me of one. Like I got registered in states that were hard registration states. Before I should have. There's some things like that where somebody's like, "Yep, I'm doing it, I'm doing it." And I've learned a lot of things. Like it is easier to go into there's some states that are easier to go into. I didn't realize all that at the beginning, but I adore my franchisees. I love them. I went to a ball game with one last night, a basketball game. That's how good of friends we are. And I will do anything for them. And that's one thing you've got with this. You've got me that I will answer your phone call in the middle of the night when a court is failing. You're never going to get that anywhere else. Whenever there's an animal just ran over fresh paint, or there's blossoms blowing in, what do I do? Or whatever your questions are, what do you need help with? I will be there. I will pick up the phone. I've got an installer that knows all things everything, and he will be there through thick and thin also. And we'll be there to be help. We have this team of people that we truly are a franchise. We're not there just a one and done. Well, let's hurry up and get you on board. You know what? Good luck. No way. We care. We want you to be successful. We want to be as involved as you want us to be involved, but we want to be involved, and we want to help you be successful. Was that a good answer, Joe?
And yes. That was a fantastic answer, actually, and you're 100% correct. Franchise is its own animal. It's its own business model in reality, and it's heavily regulated in many, many states through the FTC and others. So understanding and navigating that is something, if you've never done it before, there's some stumbling blocks along the way. So kudos to you for navigating through those in such a successful manner. And to pivot over to you, what part of the business do you focus on and support the franchisee? So similar question to Lisa, but from your perspective, what's yours?
Yeah, I came on board. I begged Lisa for a couple of years as soon as I heard she was involved in pickleball. And once she went the franchising route, it was time, for me to come in and join her. Now I help with the growing of the franchisee side. I'm the director of franchise sales, but we're a small company, so we all wear a lot of hats. And so, I've helped with some of the marketing stuff. I've helped with some of the website stuff, helping to support the franchisees as they come on board, evaluating software. But my primary focus is helping us to grow, learn the franchisee process, and adding and expanding throughout the United States.
I love that.
And
And
I have to
obviously
mention one
your
thing
role.
about Ann.
Sure.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, one thing I was going to say, I have never worked with anybody more proactive than Ann. Like, I asked her a question, 10 seconds later comes back. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't even get it finished typing it. If I send her a text or whatever. Like, honestly, the girl searches it out. She cares about people. She cares about people being successful too. There's people that have wanted to buy in, and we're both like, we don't feel like they're the right fit, because not that we didn't like them or anything, but we care so much about people being successful. And I've loved that we align with that so much, so much. So
I'd
you
love
asked her
that.
the
And
question.
I'd love to dive into that. Yeah. Can we dive into that a little bit? Because if I'm interested, right, just because I'm interested doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a good fit for you. So what are some of those traits, signals, what have you, that help you screen through whether or not an individual that's interested would thrive inside your model?
Well, first of all, I think the very best are owner operated, meaning you own it and you get in the middle of the mix, because that's what I did. I know everything about resurfacing a court and equipment and everything because I got to know it. And I don't know that I ever want to work that hard again in my life. Like, literally, it was grueling. I had head to toe paint. I worked long, crazy hours, but I'm grateful I did that. So Ann and I both firmly believe that for at least the first few months, get to know what you're asking your your head installer to do, or the people that work for you. And all of our franchisees have done that, and they've been really successful, so that they know how to guide them. So I think we're looking for somebody that definitely is business minded, understands, all of the logistics of accounting and running a business and an organization, and being a good leader and manager, and has had experience like that, but also is not afraid to put on, I wish I had my paint clothes here, but your paint clothes that are smattered in paint, and get out there in the messy middle and get to know exactly what you're asking your employees to do. So for me, that is the number one thing. I also love that I don't know if there's any other women in this business. Honestly, women, I think I might be the only woman in this business. And I love that if I can do it and can haul these heavy things around and work like a girl boss that anybody else can. Like I can throw a 50-pound bag of sand just as easily as anybody else. So I love that we empower. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter, what sex you are, this literally, you can do it. So it's kind of liberating and fun going, wow, this is for anybody, but you do have to be willing, I believe, to do the messy mode. We've had a few people that just kind of wanted to buy it and then, well, who do I hire? What do I do? And we feel like the best thing is somebody that's willing to be on that court helping for the first several months.
Shout out women, female, whichever way you want to phrase it, founders. Let's go. My wife is one of those, so I'm right there with you that it's a small number, but high quality in my opinion. So shout out to you for that as well. And I'd love to hear from your perspective as well, being the director of franchise sales. What are some of those traits or personalities or whatever core values that would make someone either really a good fit or potentially really not a good fit?
Yeah, I would say somebody needs to be a little sales minded and customer centric as well, because people aren't going to hire us. We're not always going to be the lowest bid, but we are going to educate you more than anybody else out there. We are not going to take any shortcuts. And so somebody that is sales focused, that can understand and be educated themselves.
And that is the color and the straight lines and the crisp, beautiful lines and the equipment. And it's the part we kind of are like during COVID is when I started this. And I'm like, I'm all about rainbows and unicorns and pickleball. And really you're there making people's dreams come true. One of the coolest stories that just happened is a lady called me and said, hey, we just got a port board. We're going to be out of town for 4 days. Can you surprise my husband and have it done when we get home? And we're going to walk out on Father's Day and he's going to see it. And we pulled it off for him. And just seeing the kids' excitement, the wife was the only one that knew what was going on while they were out of town. And they got back late the night before on Father's Day, took out him and the kids blindfolded the next day. It was all videoed. And all of a sudden, here is a piece of cement that was turned into a background statement where what that said is, come over, come as you are, you're included, come play on our court. And that is one thing. Oh, I felt teary-eyed saying this, but almost in fact, you know what? We started playing here in Utah on my backyard court here in December. Can you believe it? Hardly snowed. But I love the sound late at night of, people out there playing pickleball and the lights on, and the whole neighborhood knows, don't ask me, you just come over. If nobody's on it, it's yours. And I have loved what that statement in my backyard means. And I also have people all the time walking by my court going, I want to learn how to play. I want to learn how to play. And my willingness to go, come over, I'm going to teach you. And within an hour, they're good. I'm like, oh no, you can't be that good in an hour. I need to beat you, can't be that good. But I just feel like it's so much more than a business. If you care about inclusion and fun and family fun and wherever you are and just a community, as a single middle-aged gal, I joined a pickleball group that everybody's my age, and once a week we go and we play. It's so much more than just, this is a moneymaker, although it is. I found a way to make money with it. But it is just a beautiful community of every age that we all have this crazy love of a paddle and what looks like a wiffle ball, but it's so much more. So there you go.
I love that. And if you don't already have this on a t-shirt, you probably should put this on a t-shirt. Rainbows, unicorns, and pickleball. That's like a statement right there. That's your trademark. That was amazing. You mentioned earlier that your territories are somewhat geographically much larger than other franchise brands. So how do you actually determine your territories? Is it population? Is it demographics? How is it determined?
And I'm going to let you answer this one. She speaks it all the time.
Yeah, it is based on the number of households. Initially we start out with 200,000 households. That's different than population. That gives you a plethora of zip codes. We always recommend that you choose zip codes that are neighboring so that it allows for easy, accommodations, doing multiple courts simultaneously. But yeah, we'll help you kind of scope out, see, okay, where do you live? Where do you see yourself growing and expanding? Who has the property, for the growth and the expansion? And then we'll help you from there kind of map it out.
Love it.
When I first wrote the FDD with the attorney, I don't know, Joe, you can answer to this, but I think it said 25,000 households or something. I was like, oh, no, because we're not a brick and mortar. We can travel. We can go anywhere. And this is more expensive than a cookie. You know what I mean? So it's it's an investment. So it's worked with those territories. People have loved it. And our franchisees that are on bordering ones just get along really well together. And hey, you take this one, or hey, I know this person. Is it okay if I go over here? We have really good open communication. And that's one thing I do love about our company, and kind of talked about it, but I am a big communicator. We can't do anything on the court if it's raining. But even if it's raining, I call and say, it's raining, I won't be here. Customers love that. They know it's raining, but and I don't let our installers go and do one little 20-minute thing to make customers think they're out there, and they're not, for 5 days. I've had it. I know what I love in what I've hired before, and I know how to communicate, and I've instilled that in our people, and they do a beautiful job with it. They stick to what they say, they communicate well. We even have rules that I don't want potty talk or swearing on the court within the workers. Really, I'm strict with that. I want to be an upscale, business where people know, wow, my kid's out there. It's good. It's neat. So they've loved it. I know I've given everybody this is really what we need to follow on the court. Good communication, good behavior on the court, everything.
I love this. This has been a fire kind of an episode. I've been looking forward to this one first and foremost for a while, because pickleball is quite literally the fastest growing sport in America. I saw that stat somewhere. I don't know where, so don't quote me, but I'm pretty confident it's true. So I've been looking forward to it, and y'all delivered. Lisa, and what you are doing, in my personal opinion, is what most founders miss. And that is building for the win, not just for the work. It's great to do work, but you got to build towards the win, and y'all are winning. You saw a trend, you built systems, you protected margin, you're scaling with intention. This has been fantastic. So thank y'all so much for taking time out of your day, because I know you're both super busy running a franchise. Thank you so much for our listeners, for y'all taking the time to share your